Seeing any of that in Volusia County?
We did not see that here. We also had 62 properties on the beach side that were declared structurally unsafe. We visited all 62 residents 2 days in a row, and 60 of them evacuated. So all of the rescues that we're doing are because people are calling us. It's not us being proactive. But we did have a mandatory evacuation in certain areas of the county, and people said, thank you, I'm staying.
In Volusia County, the curfew is lifted, so people are able now to get out on the street, but that message continuously from all of our agency leaders, Sheriff, has been take a chill pill, wait it out, because those streets are flooded.
Streets are flooded, power lines are down, trees are down, bridges can fail. We have a series of bridges out on 415 that they patched them up together after Ian, and here we are back again where the structures are completely covered in water, and nobody knows when you drive over them if it's still in fact there. So you really have to be on guard, and probably what we're going to do later on today is issue another curfew for tonight from 9 p to 5 a to give the crews a chance to get out, get the debris removed from the roads, check those bridges out, and then hopefully Friday morning everybody come out slugging and try to resume life as much as possible.
All in the name of safety. Sheriff Chitwood, thank you. We'll continue to check back with you as your deputies and yourself make your way across Volusia County.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And getting from Volusia County to Seminole County, where we find Channel 9's Q and K live for us in Altamont Springs in the Shadow Bay neighborhood. Q, last time we spoke with you, you said you were trying to talk to some neighbors there. Of course, this is now kind of famously the neighborhood where a woman actually clogged a drain pipe there, filling it with concrete, and was ordered by a judge to actually to remove, of course, that concrete, though that did not happen ahead of the storm. So have you been able to talk to anyone about what they're now experiencing as a result of her actions coupled with a hurricane?
Yeah, they're annoyed, they're frustrated, they're angry, the list goes on. Kirsten, the woman we're talking about, her name is Diane Goglis. She actually lives right behind where I'm standing right now, and everybody's been coming out and taking video of all of this flooding this morning. They say this is the worst it has been, guys. They've had flooding here before, as we've mentioned, when it comes to the Shadow Bay community here in Altamont Springs. And as a matter of fact, we're about a mile and a half away from where Jeff Deal is live. So when we talk about how there's a lot of issues in Seminole County, you're looking at the proof right now, and here's a resident throwing up the peace sign, making his way through the water here this morning. What do you think, bud? Mind if we talk for a second? What do you think about all this mess, man?
It's a cluster, needs to get fixed. Yeah, it's a pain. I'm going to get my truck right now, actually.
I got you.
Yeah.
You know, we've been covering this story for so long now, since April to be exact, and is it fair to say this is the worst it's been?
Probably. A couple of neighbors had pumps, so it made a big difference. So it changed a lot, but for a while it was bad. This is about the lowest car that could go through it. So, yeah, I'm going to get my truck now and then go see where the rest of the mess is.
I'll let you be there.
Yeah, man.
Thanks for stopping. Yep. Thank you. Yeah, and that's basically the sentiment we're getting from all the residents out here. I will say he's right. The water was a little bit higher about, 2-3 hours ago. But it's still high right now. It's still high right now as it stands. So, and Kirsten was talking about what's happening here a moment ago. Back in April, the lady behind me, she wanted to get rid of a drainage pipe in her backyard back in April, and ever since, every time it rains, it floods here in the Shadow Bay community in Altamont Springs. Never as bad as you're seeing it right now. The residents here, they complained. They took her to court. I was actually in Sanford for the civil court hearing that was about mid-September, early September, and a judge ordered her to get this issue rectified by October 1st or she would have to pay a daily fine until the work was done. And then there was another ruling a couple of weeks after that, giving her a little bit more time. She was to find a contractor to do the job, and then that contractor had to be approved by Seminole County before they could do the work. And that's where we are right now in this community. They're waiting for one, for Diane Goglis to get that contractor, two, for the county to approve the contractor, and then three, to finally get this job done so they never have to deal with flooding like this again. They say back when Hurricane Ian passed through here 2 years ago, they didn't have any flooding. So just to give you an idea as to how much that drainage pipe being clogged with concrete is affecting this neighborhood. So that's the latest here live in Altamont Springs. I'm Q McCrae. Back to you guys inside.
It's going to be a tough week for neighbors there.
Yeah, not a happy start. We begin to get some damage reports from Brevard County after Hurricane Milton.
Yeah, we're going to take you out to Cocoa Beach, where Melanie Holt has actually had some of the damage there to communities and what they experienced. What have you been seeing there, Mel?
I want to tell you exactly where we are. We're off of A1A in Cocoa Beach, behind the Publix, and this is the neighborhood that we're here in now. You can see all of the trees, the palms that are down. A couple of these palm trees, you'll notice the tops of them have been sheared right off in this area. And Lauren Bray is with me right now, my photographer. Lauren, if you'll turn to this roof line here, you'll see this house, and you'll see the missing tiles that are here, and you'll see more palm fronds and the top of another palm tree. Now, I've been talking to residents in this neighborhood for the past couple of hours, and they tell me they're confident this is that same tornadic activity where you saw me, where you saw Geo earlier this morning. They say this is some of that same debris that ended up in this neighborhood. And here you can see some of the end result here. You see some of that siding. And I want to just walk up the street just a little bit here. And we're careful where we're walking because these are all tiles. I don't want either of us to trip here. But I just want to show you some of what landed in these yards and on these homes off A1A. You see this large piece of a roof. Well, I can tell you, this piece of roof didn't come from any home that's in this neighborhood. In fact, the homeowner over here told me he believes this might be part of the Wells Fargo there off of A1A, and it landed right there in the corner of his home. I'm told that's the home office that you're looking at right there, with basically no roof now because it landed. Now, they were inside at the time, but fortunately, there aren't any reports of any injuries in this neighborhood. That's probably the most important thing here. But I will tell you this, sadly, that roof line that Lauren was just showing you there, they just finished renovations on this home, literally, and now this. They've already been in contact with the insurance company, I'm told, and now Lauren here is showing you a piece of awning. If you look closely here, it's not resting. It was driven right through this palm tree that you see here. So imagine the force that had to take for that to happen. I also talked to someone, and I also talked to the mayor who lives out in this area, Mayor Keith Capizzi, and he told me that he has a boat that weighs several thousand pounds that was shifted. Obviously it was resting and was shifted, if you can believe that or not. I will tell you, one of the things that I have noticed in this neighborhood is the number of police officers who have come by, knocked on doors, checked to see if anyone needed anything. And the same goes for neighbors out here. They've been checking on one another just to make sure everything was all right. And of course, right now, everything isn't all right. If you look over here, you can see where more tile has ended up, even over on this vehicle. You can see where some of that same debris came over and ended up right over here. I'm going to just stop you, Lauren, for just a second. I did get in contact with the National Weather Service. Obviously, we know from our chief meteorologist, Tom Terry, that they had, radar confirmed tornadic activity out here. We don't know how strong at this point, but the National Weather Service, once the weather is just a little bit better, once everything gets cleared up, they do plan to come out here and try to assess some of this damage that we have been seeing here in Cocoa Beach since yesterday evening. For now, we are live in Cocoa Beach. Melanie Holtz, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
My goodness, Mel, the distance some of that debris traveled and with that intense force, I really hope that they can find a place to stay for the next few days, because it'll be a bit until that gaping hole in the roof is fixed.
For that homeowner.
Yeah.
All right, well, it's 10:45 on this Thursday morning, and we're actually going to get over to look at your weather. A lot of you are, of course, wondering where we are post-ish. We're in that transition. We're like, go.
Yeah. Interesting, though, Mel, over in Cocoa Beach, that tornado warning that's issued. Just listen to this. The National Weather Service out of Melbourne, which typically does most of the warnings for our viewing area, we kind of get a few from Jacksonville and Tampa as well. They alone issued 41 tornado warnings. As a state, it was more than 120 tornado warnings issued yesterday. I mean, honest to goodness, lit up like a Christmas tree, Central and South Florida.
Let me ask you something, and maybe it's too early to answer this question, but a lot of times we know that not every storm is the same. So it was a wind event, or it was a rain event, or it was a flood event. What was was it a tornado event? Because we got a lot of tornadoes here.
We did, and what was so crazy about some of these tornadoes is they weren't necessarily the typical spin-ups. They actually kind of took on their own embodied self. You heard Tom Terry talking about it. These supercell tornadoes, so they were almost I don't want to say a hybrid, but kind of. You know, and a lot of Mets around Florida have been asking the National Weather Service, like, hey, how many of these warnings were actually confirmed tornadoes? You have to think of each and every one of those warnings. If there was damage in them, they have to go out and physically assess, and they'll say, someone will look and say, well, yeah, this was an EF0, EF1, et cetera, et cetera. That's a lot to filter through. So it's going to take us some time to really have a head count, to say, or a tornado count on actually how many of those warnings actually led to touchdowns. But we've seen the damage, so we know that there were some with this storm system, but over 120. In my very short career, since I'm only 21, I've never seen that ever. I know Tom Terry was saying something very similar, that's just a lot of warnings to be issued. But we get you outside. There's an update with Milton. I've seen it weaken just a little bit. We anticipate this. We saw it in the track as it continues to move off towards the east. It's still a Category 1 storm, but winds are down to about 80 miles per hour. Moving faster to the east-northeast at around 20 miles per hour. Here locally, there are still some warnings up for coastal Volusia, or coastal communities, Volusia and Brevard County. That's where the hurricane warnings are still in place. Inland, Flagler, Seminole, Orange, Lake County, Osceola County, all still a tropical storm warning that is in place. We'll eventually see these die off and kind of expire. I wouldn't be surprised, though, if we actually see them be replaced with a wind advisory, as we're expecting some gusty, breezy conditions. Wind gusts 30 to 40 as we take you through the afternoon. But you can see, here's the track as we move forward at 11 o'clock, that latest track for you, expected to continue to weaken, and you can see become a depression and eventually a remnant as it kind of gets absorbed with a front over the next couple of days and continues its march away from us. This is going to continue to move towards the east as we head towards the weekend. And actually here locally, we're going to have some pretty decent weather that we'll be able to show you, and not just some of our local hour by hours in the short term, but in the long term with that 7-day forecast. But kind of recapping what we had through the overnight, a lot of folks woken up by the wind, by the rain coming sideways in some locations. Some of the biggest wind gusts in and around parts of Central Florida that I've seen, mid 80s, upper 80s, low 90 mile per hour wind gusts. As we get over towards northern Brevard County, that's the biggest number that I've seen so far this morning for our local area. But Daytona Beach, near OIA, we had a wind gust of 87 miles per hour, 86 in Ponce Inlet. So some big numbers out of the winds. Things have definitely started to die down. As we get over to the coastline, we still have those wind gusts in that 30, 40 mile per hour range. You can see in Orlando, we've had a last recorded wind gust of about 25 miles per hour. Ocala, a 21 mile per hour wind gust as well. And as we go through the remainder of the afternoon, you can see kind of there's this fuchsia color right along the coast line. That's where we'll have the strongest wind gusts, and anywhere, again, 30, 45 mile per hour wind gusts possible as we head towards the afternoon. Come tomorrow, that fuchsia goes away. We start to see more normal but breezy conditions with winds coming off the water for us. But as we go through the afternoon, more counties will be kind of included in this tan color up in Marion County. The wind advisory that goes until 8 o'clock. Again, as we anticipate those wind gusts 30 to 40 miles per hour. But take a look at our hour by hour locally in Orlando. You can see the wind icon here on the map through lunch hour. We get towards the late afternoon, early evening hours. The winds anywhere from 15 to about 20 miles per hour. We'll have mostly cloudy skies. And again, a few of those brief showers will be possible because we are tracking still some of that rain. Not only do we have the gusts over near the coastline, that's also where we have the majority of some of the last signs of the showers kind of on the far western fringe of the system. But lots of Volusia, Brevard County still getting some of that wet weather. Zooming down a little bit closer, you can see most of it south of Daytona Beach, but near Oak Hill, we've got some pretty steady rainfall. De Leon Springs is picking up some wet weather. Areas of northern Brevard County, Port St. John, again, the Cape up towards Titusville as well. We even have some of those scattered light showers moving right into the metro again. You've got some of the fast moving rainfall, Orlando, Winter Park, Baldwin Park for us as we get you into the afternoon. Our rain, it's going to be winding down. Coming up in just a little bit, we'll take you through some of the rain totals that we had through the overnight because we had some real big numbers. What that means, not just for the local flooding concerns that we're dealing with outside now, but what that means for our rivers as well, coming up in just a bit. Kirsten and Alexa.
All right, 10:51 on this Thursday morning. We'll continue our coverage here of the recovery of Hurricane Milton right after the break.
You are listening to live coverage of Hurricane Milton here on WDBO, Orlando's severe weather station.
The things that I can offer at IDC.
What's best about our company is that we have access to far more options than most retailers typically do.
None of us are paid on commission at all, so our interests are pure.
We always encourage people to shop around because we know that our prices are good enough. You will be back.
It's not a selling environment at all. We want to know what's most important to you and help you get there.
We take care of your ring for life. We invite you in as an extension of our family. It's about helping each client achieve what they want, to become a hero.
When we approach it in such a straightforward manner, it's refreshing. They almost look at you with a sigh of relief, like you take the mystery away.
The merchandise that we have is unmatched. The prices that we have are incredibly competitive. Our quality is unsurpassed.
International Diamond Center. Discover the difference. Our people. Get store hours, directions, and more at shopidc.com.
Hurricane Milton left a trail of destruction. Now the recovery phase begins. Roads are blocked, areas are flooded, and emergency rescue crews are attending to those in need. Stay alert, stay safe, and stay connected.
Tropical storm warning. A hurricane warning has been replaced by a tropical storm warning for the following counties. In Florida, inland northern Brevard, inland southern Brevard, inland Volusia, mainland northern Brevard, and mainland southern Brevard.
At the UPS store, we know being a small business owner means holiday time is still go time. Still get those orders shipped time. And still re-up on stamps and supplies time. That's why this upcoming holiday, while others close up shop, we'll be open. And happy to help you keep being unstoppable. Come into your local store today. Most locations are independently owned. Product services, pricing, and hours of operation may vary. See Center for details. The UPS store. Be unstoppable.
Robinhood's Hood Week is coming, so start the countdown now. 12 days, 3 epic offers, and unlimited bonus amounts. Starting October 16th, when you transfer your IRAs, margin balances, or other brokerage accounts to Robinhood, there's no limit to how much you can earn. Head to Robinhood.com/HoodWeek now to learn more about Hood Week. Investing is risky. Bonus offer subject to terms and conditions. Visit Robinhood.com/HoodWeek for more information. Margin is not suitable for all investors. Robinhood Gold is offered through Robinhood Gold LLC and is a subscription offering services for a fee. Brokerage services offered through Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC, a registered broker-dealer.
Office building, $499,000, sold, multiple offers. Truck storage, $1.5 million, sold, 1031 exchange to 4 investment properties. Retail center, $850,000, sold, 25 days. 60 acres vacant land, $899,000, sold. Hi, Cleve Loveland, your Central Florida real estate planner. Call me and I'll show you how the right commercial real estate plan can help build your retirement portfolio. From 1 building to 10, office to warehouse, 1031 exchanges. Let Loveland Properties be your real estate planner. Buying, selling, or exchanging, we can help you. From my free 50-point staging checklist, detailed market analysis, and expertise, Loveland Properties has your real estate plan. With 50-plus years, we've seen what works and what doesn't in real estate. Call Loveland Properties at 407-352-8118. That's 407-352-8118. Or visit cleveloveland.com. Join us every Saturday at noon for the Loveland Report.
Weather brought to you by ProTech Air Conditioning and Plumbing Services.
Hurricane Milton, still a Category 1 storm, pulling off our east coast over into the Atlantic, but still leaving behind some gusty winds and some rainfall over near our beaches. Even here in the metro, we'll continue to see wind gusts 20 to 40 miles per hour through the afternoon with some fast-moving light showers. By this evening, though, drying skies, and we'll look for some beautiful weather to move into Central Florida as a lot of us pick up the pieces. We'll have overnights in the 60s with afternoons in the 80s tomorrow through the weekend. From Channel 9 Eyewitness News, I'm meteorologist Cassandra Crimmy.
Now, from the Bogan Munz & Munz WDBO Traffic Center. Auto accident? Choose Bogan Munz & Munz.
Already seeing delays on I-4 as you're heading westbound. That's going to be from 192 to just after 532. Once you get closer to 27, you're going to be back up to speed. And then you've got a washout that has the Turnpike southbound closed at US 27. All traffic forced to exit there. The on-ramp from 27 to the Turnpike southbound is closed as well. And then you also have 1792 closed in both directions between Tremont Drive and Miller Road due to a washout as well. I-4 eastbound at Orange Blossom Trail, you've got on the on-ramp. That on-ramp is partially blocked as crews are trying to take care of a downed tree in that area. Also want to watch out for lots of intersections where traffic signals are not working. Make sure you treat that as you would a four-way stop. And also getting word that in the Orlando Metro, most of your Publixes are going to be reopening at 2 o'clock, but do check with Publix's website to make sure for your individual Publix. But a lot of those are going to be reopening at 2 p.m. This traffic report is brought to you by LifeLock. It's Cybersecurity Awareness Month. Multi-factor authentication can only help so much. LifeLock offers comprehensive identity theft protection. Start your 30-day free trial at lifelock.com/cybersafety. I'm Ed Torrance with reliable traffic reports every 6 minutes in the morning on WDBO.
This is a special edition of WDBO, All Eyes on Milton. Download the app and stay connected before, during, and after the storm with Orlando's severe weather station, WDBO.
Let's take you back now as we continue our live coverage of Hurricane Milton with our television partners, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
Southbound near US 27, you cannot access the turnpike through that stretch because of flooding, and we also have flooding in DeLand. You can see right there first responders in chest deep water making some rescues this morning, water entering some homes, and of course this intersection impassable this morning. So we have flooding, we have the washouts, but we also have some downed trees. We've shown you several trees that have fallen across Central Florida overnight.
Here's one in Orlando. You see here a homeowner is waking up to a massive tree pulled up from its root here, that tree covering the entire front yard. Also part of those long branches are in the street as well. We encourage viewers, though, to keep sending in these Hurricane Milton impacts as soon as you can do so safely. We'll be right back.
You are listening to WDBO, Orlando's severe weather station, as we continue tracking Hurricane Milton.
Tomorrow morning on Orlando's Morning News with Scott and Ness.
Good riddance, Hurricane Milton.
We do have thousands within our community who are without power, but overall, our community fared better than other communities around the state of Florida.
And now the cleanup begins. We'll have all the storylines for you. We're going to talk Tom Terry into giving us a sun-filled weekend forecast. And as you get back on the roadways, our Ed Torrance will have those traffic reports for you every 6 minutes.
Wake up with Orlando's Morning News with Scott and Ness. Weekdays starting at 5 a.m. on WDBO.
Robin Hood's Hood Week is coming, so start the countdown now. 12 days, 3 epic offers, and unlimited bonus amounts. Starting October 16th, when you transfer your IRAs, margin balances, or other brokerage accounts to Robinhood, there's no limit to how